So on AQA we got given a list of questions that also had 3 texts for the question that you had to do. I'm pretty sure everyone in my class chose like different questions. So my question that I chose was, looking at alternative interpretations, how far do you agree that the naivety of women's approach to love only produces sympathy for their tragic ends? And the 3 texts I did were these 3. So I did The Woman Who Walked Into Doors by Roddy Doyle, which is a modern book, postmodern actually. Othello by Shakespeare, that was the play I did. And also Tess of the D'Urbervilles, which was written in the Victorian era by Thomas Hardy. So my first tip is do this to your books. Read your books. I read mine, so I picked my coursework title like this time of year. So like just after I'd finished my AS exams, we picked our coursework titles, so I knew the 3 texts that I was doing. So I read those over my summer holiday, so I'd really suggest you do that. And read them with your question in mind and a highlighter pen. So I just went through and I would highlight, so like this quote here, the abandoned ones were all dressed in white gowns. So I've highlighted it and then I put a little sticky note in so that you can just, so I could find the quotes easily when I got to doing my coursework. And I did that with Roddy Doyle as well, so that one again has sticky notes. So like this one I've highlighted, I'd loved him before I even met him and I never stopped, and then that's got sticky note, and obviously the rest of this has sticky notes in as well. Othello I didn't do quite the same just because we actually did this one in class and for some reason I didn't sticky note it, but I do have certain bits I used in my coursework, I do have them highlighted. So like this passage I've got quite a lot highlighted, I don't know if you can see. So it's between Iago and Amelia, and it's like Iago saying, "You have a thing for me, it is a common thing." And then like Amelia being like, "Poor lady, she'll run mad when she shall lack it." So that's just really important. Keep your question in mind and highlight and sticky note where those quotes are, because it will really help make your coursework easier when you come to write it. Because honestly, like these 2 that I did this properly for was so much easier to find the things that I was looking for than this one where I really didn't do it. There's just one passage that I've noted that has quite a lot in. Then I'd say when you do get onto writing your coursework, when you're starting to think about it, you should basically go through all the quotes that you highlighted and write them all out, and then kind of pick which points you're going to do and pick which quotes you think are going to be the most useful in backing up what you're saying and the ones that you think you can analyse the most. Obviously you're going to be able to write best about the ones you feel comfortable analysing. And also, if you are struggling to understand the text that you're reading or that you've been given, I really recommend like books like this. So they're the York Notes study guides, because they literally has like analysis in it, so that it's really going to help you understand what the texts are about and different themes within them. If you are struggling, I really highly suggest any of the York Notes books. Personally, I used mine a little bit at the beginning, but I didn't find that I needed them a lot, but I know that a lot of people found them really useful. So then the other thing you need to do to get high marks is you need to be bringing in like critics. So you need to find articles that have been written about the texts, what other people are saying about the texts, and referencing that in your coursework, because you're not going to get the highest marks if you don't do that. So I think I've thrown all of the like research bits I did away for them, but for example I found someone who had done their uni dissertation on tests, and I think I put some of that in, and then there's like different articles that journalists have written about, for example Othello, people have written different articles about different directors and different theatre groups interpretations of that, and then also people have written reviews on books like Roddy Doyle's as well. So you need to find those, and you need to find a way to incorporate them into your coursework, into your coursework. And then you need to make sure that you have enough intelligent things to say, because I don't know if it's the same for every exam board, but I'm pretty sure that our word limit was 5,000 words, and you have to stay within like 5%, so you can either go 5% less than 5,000 or 5% over 5,000. Quite a lot of words. That's like, this is my coursework, and that's pretty much 4 whole pages. So when you come to writing it, you want to make sure that you are analysing the form, so whether it is a novel or a play and what effect that has. Obviously poetry as well if it's a poem, but coursework will probably normally just be about novels and plays, and what effect that has on the audience or the reader. You want to think about what time period it was written in. So for example, Shakespeare was written a very long time before the Roddy Doyle one, and what effect does that have? And think about an audience it was first performed or first read to an audience now, and how different audiences will react depending on the social context and the historical context as well. And then you just want to make sure that you're really analysing the language, so make sure you're really getting into what the author or the writer is trying to get across, what they're saying. Any hidden messages is the wrong word, but like any inspirations that they might have had behind it that you can kind of see in the text, like is it inspired by the Bible in some way, or is it inspired by a poem in some way, or another text, or is it inspired by what's going on at the time, etc, etc. The other thing that I think is really important is take your time with your coursework, rewrite it, redraft it, get your teacher to mark it, and then go back and change depending on what advice they've given you. My teachers were so good about the whole rewriting thing. They gave us a certain amount of times to write it, and then they'd put like little bits on. So obviously because it's coursework they can't tell you exactly what to do, but they'd put like, they'd like give you ideas to think about, and like say you need to work on this bit of grammar or whatever. And then the last time they marked it, we didn't do it in a, like we didn't hand it in, they did, so there was one of my teachers and then 2 other English teachers, and all of us had like an appointment time, and we went and we told them the outline of like our plan for the coursework, like what it's all about, and then read bits of it to them, and then they told us their feedback based on that, and then we could rewrite it based on that feedback, and then we handed it in. And I don't know if it's the same now, but we started our coursework, well, we got given our questions at the end of year 12, so we could have started it over the summer, but personally I think I just read the books and kind of analysed them over the summer. But you could have started it if you are a quick reader and wanted to get on with it. And I'm pretty sure, so that's this kind of time, so that's like June time, July time, and I'm pretty sure that it doesn't actually have to get handed in until May. I don't think the exam board have to get it until May. So you do have a lot of time. Obviously you want to get it finished before then, and I think we definitely did. In year 13 we definitely finished our exam, like our coursework, before the deadline. Year 12 I think we took all the way up until the deadline. What I'm trying to say is you do have time to take your time with it. Don't feel like you have to rush it. Really think about the things you're saying, and you know what, if you write it and you're not happy with it and you don't know how to change it, just start again. You can start again, you've got time to do it again, to think of new points, to like reorganise your thinking in your head about what you want to say about it. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to split this video into 2 parts. So the first part is the part that you've just watched, which is my hints and tips for English literature A-level coursework and how to get an A, like the tips that I use to get an A. And then the second part you should see soon, which will be me reading my English coursework and kind of talking you through it, so you can see what a piece of A-grade English coursework actually looks like. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it helped. If you have any other useful tips, like I said at the beginning of the video, please leave them in the comments down below. Please don't forget to subscribe for more revision videos, makeup videos, travel videos, any videos basically, and like this video as well, and I'll see you in my next one.